a cyberpunk RPG known for her personality, a new MMORPG being developed by two brothers, and another Star Citizen roadmap for another roadmap. Welcome to Coffee and RPGs. My name is Solomon SK, where we cover the latest news, trends, and updates for the MMO and RPG gaming genre. If you guys got your coffee ready, let's go over these news together. Cheers to you guys. And next, let's go ahead and cover some of the articles from MMORPG.com. And the first one here, Lineage 2 and Lineage 2 Essence receives new zones, PvP ranking, and more. I'm not going to really spend a whole lot of time with this one because I haven't touched Lineage 2 in what feels like a decade. I remember playing it early on, and it's probably one of the grindiest games I've ever played, even more so than Black Desert Online, if you can believe it or not. But it does go on to read that Lineage 2 has received a Spirit Forest, which is a new temporary parting hunting zone, for characters 110 or up. Lineage 2 Essence will receive 4 reworked classes, including the Spectral Dancers, Sword Muses, Titans, and Cavarturies. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that. New raid zones for clans twice a week are also part of the update as well. And in their next article, seems like Lord of the Rings Online is having issues again. And this is something that I covered about a month ago, where they're having stability issues. And unfortunately, it looks like Star Wars, wow. It looks like Lord of the Rings Online is having stability issues again. But in this tweet, they're saying that they are experiencing shortages or instability due to forces outside of their control. That to me sounds like a DDoS attack, unfortunately. Although they haven't said it outright here, unfortunately. So to all you Lord of the Rings Online fans out there, I'm terribly sorry that you have to go through this. And hopefully, once they get it straightened out, maybe they'll actually give you some compensation, like really awesome compensation, hopefully. Speaking of a fan base that probably deserves compensation, maybe, I don't know. In their next article, it's about Star Citizen. Cloud Imperium explains Squadron 42 and roadmap problems, new roadmap planned. And it says right here, due to some features being or not being able to concisely plan the hard release dates, a new public roadmap will be created to bring more transparency to development processes. So for me, it's a little bit of a mixed bag. Just to let you know, and those of you who've been watching this channel for a while already know that I am a backer of this game. In terms of the most anticipated MMORPG, this one is #1 in my book. Now, that's not to say that everything Cloud Imperium game does is right. I don't agree with everything that they do, but nor should anyone do that. This is not a cult that we belong to. Anyways, as far as I can tell, they keep changing the roadmap like every so once in a while because of certain delays, I guess you could say. And after a while, when you make a roadmap, I think people are less inclined to believe the roadmap because you keep changing it on us, and it's just like, well, I'm not gonna put all my hopes into what they say because they might change it, and they've done that, and they've always had having a new roadmap, a roadmap for a new roadmap, and it's just insane. A lot of game developers out there are having to work from home, and that's definitely delaying a lot of the sort of promises the game developers made to us, unfortunately. So I'm willing to kind of give them the benefit of the doubt because of certain circumstances that are beyond their control. Again, with this whole sickness that I can't mention because I don't want YouTube to, I want to be on YouTube's good side, in other words. But it does say lastly here in their, official post, some who follow us understand that just because something is not on the roadmap does not mean it's not being actively developed. Others, however, believe that if something is not on the roadmap, then it means that it is being delayed or canceled. This creates confusion. And it does say that so far the response to the community on Star Citizen official forums has been largely positive despite no new information provided in terms of Squadron 42. And a really quick from GamesRadar.com, Borderlands 3 teases campaign DLC for starting Krieg in bizarre tweet. And it says here that Borderlands 3 will reveal its 4th campaign DLC on August 25th, according to a bizarre tweet featuring the former Psycho, now Vault Hunter, named Krieg. And next we got one article from Gematsu.com. Since a Cyberpunk Ghost Story launches August 25th for PC this fall for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PS Vita. And this is being described as a 2.5D horror game set in Neo Hong Kong in the year 2083. This game does actually have a pretty interesting combination of various gameplay and mechanics. As it said before, it's a 2.5D side-scrolling adventurer, sort of puzzle solving, even survival RPG game, which is pretty interesting. Again, I've never heard of anything like that before being done, but I think it's also trying to capitalize on the whole Cyberpunk wave or excitement that's being put forth by CD Projekt Red for sure. Next, we'll go ahead and cover some of the articles from PCGamer.com. And the first one here, Black Myth reveal trailer shows some snappy hack and slash combat in ancient China, and is inspired by the likes of Sekiro, and I definitely have to agree with that if you see the trailer that I have playing above me. And he goes on to read that Chinese developer Game Science Studio revealed their current project called a Black Myth Wukong, I believe that's how you say it, with a 13-minute gameplay trailer. The game focuses on the popular Chinese novel myth Journey to the West from the 16th century. I've certainly never heard of the studio before, but then again, I don't know too many Chinese developers, unfortunately, except the big ones, of course, like Tencent. But this studio was actually developed and founded by former Tencent employees, and they've actually produced a title called Art of War Red Tides, and I've never heard of this game before, but other than that, this game is actually being built with the Unreal Engine 4. And for our last article of this episode, comes from MassivelyOP.com. Existence arrives on the scene to recapture the heart of MMO gaming, and I really hope this is the case. It's a really exciting news in my opinion, but it does go on to read that inspired by their time in Anarchy Online, two brothers decided that they wanted to make their own sci-fi MMORPG, and this RPG is called Existence, a new title that just emerged on the scene after 4 months of initial development. And for those of you who do not know what Anarchy Online is, it's a fairly older MMORPG. I think it came out back in like 2001 or 2, and it sort of has that cyberpunk vibe. It is sort of has that post-apocalyptic sci-fi feeling to it, more or less, from what I can remember. It's been a very long time since I played this game myself. I think I played the engineer, if I'm not mistaken. But it does go on to say, quote, "We wanted to make this MMO about the heart of gaming, about being fun and not about making money," end quote, the brother said. In an effort to make that happen, the two say that Existence will be built with the guiding principles of freedom in play, affordable subscriptions, and no pay-to-win sales. And as always, I have the trailer playing above me, and obviously it looks a little dated, a little crude, but that's because this game's been only in development for, what, 4 months they said? And even then, it's only being developed by two brothers, which is really impressive. I can't even imagine what it took to even get this far. They are asking for additional help, so if you're somebody who could chip in and do some designs for them, I think they'd really appreciate that. They also do have their own Patreon page that you could check out. They do have 4 different memberships, and turns out they actually got one Patreon paying at $24 a month, so good on them, as they just started, right? And that concludes today's episode of MMO and RPG updates. I really do appreciate it if you made it with me so far, because the watch time significantly helps with the algorithms. If you feel as though I have earned your subscription, please consider hitting the subscribe button down below, as well as the bell notification icon right next to it. As you can see, I'm changing it up just a little bit. I'm going to try to make my episodes about 8 minutes each. If you didn't know already, a lot of YouTubers try to make their videos 10 minutes or longer because, again, with the watch time that YouTube algorithms so seem to really desire, but they actually changed that recently so that you only have to do it, or only, quote unquote, only have to do it 8 minutes long. So that's what I'm trying to go for. Anyways, guys, I know I kept you for a while, so I'll finally let you guys go. Hope you guys have a blessed night, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers again, everyone.